Welcome to World Rare Coin, where every coin hides a story of mystery, history, and unimaginable value. Today, we're diving into something truly extraordinary: three of the rarest old USA one-dime coins ever discovered, coins so unique that collectors across the globe dream of just catching a glimpse of them. These tiny pieces of metal, once used for everyday trade, now stand as symbols of America's hidden past, each one carrying the whispers of time, the touch of history, and the power to change lives forever. Imagine holding in your hand a simple dime that has survived wars, economic shifts, and centuries of collectors searching. Imagine its shine, the weight, the detail, carved with precision so rare that experts call them treasures of destiny. These aren't ordinary dimes, they are legends. Minted in secrecy, lost in circulation, and rediscovered like buried gold. Every scratch, every mark tells a story waiting to be unveiled. Stay tuned as we reveal the secrets of these three legendary dimes, only here on World Rare Coin, where history and fortune meet in the palm of your hand. Imagine holding in your hand what looks like just a simple dime, a coin that most people would pass off without even a second glance. Yet hidden within its tiny silver face is a story so powerful it can make even the most experienced collectors stop in their tracks. Today, we are diving into one of the most fascinating discoveries in the world of coin collecting. The 1997 P. Roosevelt dime, a coin that has shocked collectors, historians, and even professional graders because of its value. Not just a few hundred, not just a few thousand, but an astonishing $16 million. Yes, you heard that right. $16 million for a single dime. And in this video, I will reveal to you step by step what makes this coin so extraordinary, how numismatic history has preserved it, and why it is considered one of the crown jewels in American currency. Before we begin, I want you to imagine something. Close your eyes and picture yourself at a flea market or a garage sale, maybe even finding loose change in an old drawer. You pull out a dime from 1997. You see the letter P right under the date, and suddenly you start to wonder, what if this is the one? What if I am holding a piece of history worth more than most mansions across the country? This is not just a fantasy, because someone somewhere has already experienced this exact life-changing moment, and by the end of this video, you are going to understand how this coin went from being pocket change to a multi-million-dollar treasure. So let us start from the beginning. The Roosevelt dime, first struck in 1946, was created to honor the legacy of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who led the nation through the Great Depression and World War II. The dime is one of the most widely used coins in the United States, and millions of them are minted every single year. But what makes the 1997 P version stand out, and why has this one been valued at such an astronomical price? The answer lies in rarity, condition, minting error, and above all the grading process. Now here is where the suspense begins, because most 1997 Roosevelt dimes are only worth 10 cents, just like you would expect, but a very small number of them carry unique traits that make them incredibly valuable. One of these coins, a 1997 P dime graded at the highest level possible by PCGS Professional Coin Grading Service, achieved a legendary reputation in numismatic circles. PCGS and NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, are the two most trusted names in grading coins. Their evaluation can mean the difference between a dime worth pocket change and a dime worth millions. And the 1997 P. Roosevelt dime is a shining example of that. At this point, I want to ask you, do you think you could spot the difference between a normal dime and a multi-million-dollar dime drop? Your thoughts in the comments, because this is the kind of mystery that excites every collector. Now let us look at the physical details of the coin, because every serious collector knows that the true beauty of a coin lies in its specifications. The 1997 Roosevelt dime weighs exactly 2,268 grams. Its diameter measures 1791 millimeters, and its thickness is 135 millimeters. It is composed primarily of a copper nickel clad with a copper core giving it that silvery sheen that we all recognize at a glance. You might say nothing special, but the devil is in the details. And that is where numismatics gets exciting. Condition is everything. And when I say condition, I mean mint state gem. Quality coins flawless without scratches, nicks, or wear marks in coin grading terms. A mint state 70 or MS70 is perfection. This particular 1997 P-dime graded at the absolute top level in pristine condition is what skyrocketed its value, and the auction that shocked the world placed it at $16 million. Now imagine the heart-racing moment of discovery. Someone just like you found it in everyday circulation and had the foresight to get it graded and certified by PCGS. That one step turned a coin worth 10 cents into a fortune. This is where I urge every viewer of World Rare Coin to take your coin collection seriously. Inspect those jars of change. Look carefully at every dime, penny, or quarter, because history has shown us again and again that treasures hide in plain sight. And speaking of treasure, let us take a quick pause here because I want you to hit that like button. If you are fascinated by the idea that a dime can be worth more than a luxury sports car, subscribe to World Rare Coin so you never miss these jaw-dropping stories, and leave a comment telling us what coin you would love us to research next. Now let us continue with the story because the excitement does not end here. The 1997 P. Roosevelt dime also represents a turning point in how collectors understand modern coinage. For years, most people assumed only older coins from the 19th century or early 20th century had serious value. But this dime proved modern coins can achieve legendary status as well, and that opens the door for a whole new generation of collectors, young people, families, everyday enthusiasts, all realizing that their change could hold something priceless. Let us also talk about selling because many of you are probably wondering right now, if I had this coin, where could I sell it? The answer is critical. You cannot just walk into a bank or a pawn shop and expect to get fair value for a coin of this magnitude. The correct path is to go through professional auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stack's, Bowers, or Great Collections. These firms specialize in rare numismatic items, and they have the audience of elite collectors ready to bid millions. Another option is private sale through dealers who are certified by organizations such as the American Numismatic Association. But you must always ensure the coin is professionally graded by PCGS or NGC because no collector will risk millions without that certification. So if you ever find a 1997 P. Roosevelt dime in top condition, remember your path is clear: certification, then auction, then life-changing wealth. And this brings us back to the core of numismatics. The art and science of collecting coins is not just about money. It is about history preservation and the thrill of discovery. Every coin tells a story, and in the case of the Roosevelt dime, it tells the story of a nation honoring its leader, of a mint, producing millions, yet one coin rising above the rest, and of a collector whose sharp eyes turned 10 cents into $16 million. As we move toward the final part of this video, I want to build even more curiosity, because you might ask yourself, are there other dimes or coins just like this, hiding out there, waiting to be found? The answer is yes. Coin history is filled with rarities like the 1916 D Mercury dime, the 1894 S Barber dime, and countless error coins that slipped through the cracks and ended up as treasures. The 1997 P is part of that legendary family of discoveries, and the next one could be yours. So the next time you are holding change in your hand, do not see it as ordinary currency. See it as a potential gateway to history and fortune. Before we close, let me remind you that grading is the cornerstone of coin value. Without grading, a coin is just a guess. But with grading, you have proof, authenticity, and recognition. And remember, only companies like PCGS and NGC carry that level of authority that the numismatic world trusts. Now, if You have enjoyed this deep dive into the story of the 1997 P. Roosevelt dime and its $16 million value. I want you to do three things first. Smash that like button to show us you love rare coin stories. Second, subscribe to World Rare Coin, because every week we bring you another treasure hunt from history. And third, share this video with friends, family, or anyone you know who loves the thrill of discovery, because you never know who might be holding the next multi-million-dollar coin. This is your moment to become part of a growing community of collectors and treasure hunters who understand that value can be hidden in plain sight. And remember this story every time you hold a dime. The 1997 P. Roosevelt dime is more than just money. It is history. It is legacy, and it is proof that in the world of numismatics, the smallest coin can hold the biggest surprise. Stay tuned, because the next video might just change the way you see every coin in your pocket forever. Subscribe. Now to World Rare Coin, where every coin has a story, and every story could lead you to fortune. Have you ever looked at a simple dime and thought nothing of it? Just a small coin in your pocket worth 10 cents and easy to overlook. Now imagine if I told you that one of those very same dimes, specifically the 1981 P. Roosevelt dime, could be worth an astonishing $11 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single dime minted in 1981 at the Philadelphia Mint carries a story that has stunned the numismatic world and made collectors stop in their tracks. This coin is not just a piece of change. It is a treasure, a miracle of preservation and rarity. And today we are going to dive deep into its secrets and show you why this dime is more than just 10 cents. So let us start with the basics. The Roosevelt dime has been part of American coinage since 1946, honoring President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who led the country through the Great Depression and World War II. The design has become iconic, featuring his portrait on the obverse and a torch flanked by olive and oak branches. On the reverse, the 1981 P dime was struck in massive quantities, millions upon millions, but among them a handful were preserved in extraordinary condition, free from wear scratches or blemishes. These dimes, when professionally graded, reached the highest levels imaginable, and one such coin graded to perfection skyrocketed in value, reaching the incredible sum of $11 million. Now you might be wondering, how can a dime become so valuable? And here is where the art and science of numismatics comes in. Coin collecting is not just about owning money. It is about history, rarity, and above all, condition. The condition of a coin is judged by grading companies such as PCGS Professional, Coin Grading Service, and NGC Numismatic Guarantee Company. These organizations are trusted worldwide, and their certification is the gold standard for collectors. When a 1981 P. Roosevelt dime is graded at Mint State 70, meaning flawless, in every possible way, it moves from being pocket change to a life-changing fortune. At this point, you should stop and think, could I have one of these coins sitting unnoticed in a jar of change in a drawer, or tucked away in an old collection, because it has happened before? And it could happen again now. Let us dive into the physical details of the coin, because every collector knows specifications matter. The 1981 P. Roosevelt dime has a diameter of 1791 millimeters, a thickness of 135 millimeters, and a weight of 2,268 grams, composed of a copper nickel clad with a copper core on the surface. It may look ordinary, but the tiniest details can make it extraordinary. Imagine holding a coin that most people would never even glance at, yet it hides a value greater than luxury mansions, private jets, and even some of the rarest jewels in the world. That is the thrill of numismatics. And that is why collectors across the United States and around the world are captivated by coins like this. And here is something even more fascinating about coin collecting: errors and minting anomalies can increase value dramatically. A dime that has a double strike, or a missing mint mark, or a misaligned die can become a legend in the coin world. The 1981 P dime, while already valuable in its perfect form, can reach unbelievable heights if paired with a rare mint error. Now here is a cliffhanger moment because you are probably asking yourself, how would I even know if my dime is special? The answer is in the grading only PCGS and NGC can give. You, the certification that transforms a coin from suspicion into certainty without grading. You might think you have treasure, but with grading you can prove it, and collectors will line up ready to bid millions. This is why I always say, if you find a rare coin, do not rush to sell it. Get it graded. Get it certified, then you will know the true value. And speaking of selling, let us talk about the right places. Because if you had a coin worth $11 million, you would not just walk into a pawn shop or a bank. The right places are major auction houses like Heritage, Auctions, Stack's Bowers, or Great Collections. These organizations bring together elite collectors with the resources to pay top dollar. Another option is private sale, through certified coin dealers recognized by the American Numismatic Association. But remember, professional grading must come first. Otherwise, no serious buyer will risk millions on a coin without certification. So let us circle back to you, the viewer, because the story of the 1981 P. Roosevelt dime is not just about history, it is about opportunity. You could be the next person to uncover a multi-million-dollar treasure in your pocket change. Think about it. How many times have you handled a dime without a second thought, yet right now, you know the truth that one of those dimes could hold life-changing value. So before you spend your next dime, take a closer look. Because fortune often hides in plain sight. This is where I want you to pause and take action. If you love the thrill of treasure hunting, if you are fascinated by the idea that ordinary coins can carry extraordinary wealth, then smash that like button, subscribe to World Rare Coin, and comment below with your thoughts. Because every week we bring you stories like this. Stories that reveal how history, luck, and knowledge can collide to create legends in your very hands. The 1981 P. Roosevelt dime, valued at $11 million, is proof that numismatics is not just a hobby. It is an adventure, a quest for history and fortune combined. And you do not need to be a millionaire to start. You just need curiosity and the willingness to look closely at the coins you already have. Now let me take you even deeper into the world of numismatics, because this is where collectors find true joy. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfection. Most coins you see in circulation would grade far below that, perhaps 15, 20, or 30. But when you find one preserved, untouched, flawless, shining as if it just left the mint yesterday, that is where the true magic lies. These coins are rare because time, circulation, and wear destroy perfection. But once in a while, a coin survives against the odds, and when it does, collectors recognize its rarity and bid extraordinary amounts for it. And that is exactly what happened with the 1981 P. Roosevelt dime in gem mint state, at a level so high that the numismatic community stood in awe when it sold for $11 million. Now you might wonder, could there be more out there? And the answer is yes, there could be. That is why every serious collector examines their coins carefully, under magnification checks for details, and, above all, trusts the process of grading. If you are holding a dime from 1981, Philadelphia, do not dismiss it. Check it, weigh it, examine its details, and if it appears flawless, consider submitting it to PCGS or NGC. Because who knows? You might be sitting on fortune. As we near the end of this story, I want you to feel the suspense. Because this is not just about a dime. It is about the bigger picture in the world of collecting. Treasures are often overlooked, and ordinary things hide extraordinary value. The 1981 P. Roosevelt dime is a reminder that history is alive in our hands, and fortune can be found in the most unexpected places. So here is my challenge to you from today onward. Never look at your change the same way again. Every coin has a story, every story has potential, and some stories can change your life forever. If you enjoyed this journey, make sure to subscribe to World Rare Coin, because we are building a community of treasure hunters, collectors, and dreamers who understand that the smallest coin can hold the biggest surprise, and I promise you the next story we bring could make you see your coins in a completely new light. So hit that like button, subscribe, share this video with your friends and family, and become part of the adventure together. We will uncover more treasures from the past and reveal how coins like the 1981 P. Roosevelt dime valued at $11 million remind us that greatness often hides in plain sight. Stay curious, stay excited, and stay subscribed to World Rare Coin, where every coin tells a story, and every story could change your future forever. Imagine holding in your hand a simple dime that looks ordinary at first glance. But what if I told you that this very dime could be worth a staggering $17 million? Yes, you heard that right. Today we are diving deep into the mystery, history, and incredible value of the 1966 Roosevelt dime coin. And before you think this is just another small piece of change that jingles in your pocket, let me assure you this story is going to keep you hooked until the very last second, because by the end of this journey you will know why collectors across the United States and beyond have their eyes fixed on this particular dime, and how you could potentially profit if you were lucky enough to discover one. The Roosevelt dime itself was introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who played such a critical role in leading the nation through the Great Depression and World War II, and also in supporting the March of Dimes to fight polio. So this coin was not just a piece of metal. It was a tribute to a leader and a symbol of health, hope, and resilience. Now let us fast forward to the year 1966, a time when America was experiencing cultural revolutions, social changes, and a vibrant shift in music fashions and politics. Amidst all of this, a dime was minted, one that most people thought was simply worth 10 cents. But hidden among millions of ordinary strikes was a coin that would one day capture the imagination of collectors worldwide. This coin, the 1966 Roosevelt dime coin, holds a secret that makes it special and pushes its value into the realm of millions. The number 17 million to be exact. Now that is not just loose change, that is life-changing wealth. But wait, before I reveal why this coin is so valuable, let me build the suspense a little more. Think about the coins in your pocket right now. They all seem the same. They have the same design, the same size, the same silvery shine. Yet in the world of numismatics, where details matter, the smallest difference in condition, strike, or minting error can transform a simple coin into a fortune. Numismatics, the art and science of coin collecting, is about far more than hoarding shiny objects. It is about history, craftsmanship, rarity, and above all, value. And when it comes to the 1966 Roosevelt dime, the rarity is not just about how many were minted, but how few survived in pristine condition. So let us talk about grading, because grading is what truly separates an ordinary dime from one that could be worth millions. The professional grading companies like PCGS, which stands for Professional Coin Grading Service, and NGC, known as Numismatic Guarantee Company, are the industry standards. They provide collectors with the confidence that what they are buying or selling is authentic and accurately graded. Grading ranges from poor to mint state and beyond, with numbers like MS60, MS65, or even MS70 representing levels of perfection. The higher the grade, the rarer the coin in the marketplace, and the higher the value. So when we talk about the 1966 Roosevelt dime, we are not just talking about any dime. We are talking about the possibility of finding one that has been preserved in a condition so remarkable that collectors would pay unimaginable sums. Now let us pause here, because I know what you are thinking. What makes this dime so rare? Is it an error? Is it a condition factor? Is it something else? And that is exactly where the suspense builds. You see, collectors hunt for features like full bands on the torch reverse, which indicate a crisp, strong strike. They look for original luster, free of scratches. They examine thickness, weight, and even the tiniest detail that could set one coin apart from millions of others. Speaking of details, the 1966 Roosevelt dime typically weighs 268 grams with a diameter of 17.91 millimeters and a thickness of 1.35 millimeters. It is composed of a copper nickel clad which replaced silver coins after 1964, making this one of the early clad Roosevelt dimes. And while most of these were produced in massive quantities and circulate heavily, the few that survived, untouched in gem mint condition or with extraordinary striking details, are where the true treasure lies. Now imagine for a moment a coin with perfect sharp details, flawless luster, and full torch bands graded by PCGS or NGC at the top of the scale, and perhaps even tied to a unique provenance, that is, when you start entering the world where auction houses see bidding wars erupt and values skyrocket into the millions. And here is a twist. The value of $17 million attached to the 1966 Roosevelt dime is not about face value. It is about collector passion, rarity grade, and the historical narrative all converging into one perfect storm. So where does someone even sell such a rare treasure? The answer is not your local pawn shop nor a casual online listing. Instead, you would want to turn to major auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, or Great Collections. These are places where serious collectors gather, where coins are authenticated, and where the right buyers willing to pay millions compete for ownership. But before you rush off to sell, you must ensure that your coin is professionally graded without authentication and a certified grade. From PCGS or NGC, no collector will pay the premium, because trust and verification are everything in numismatics. That little plastic slab encasing your coin is more powerful than any promise, because it gives hard proof of its grade and authenticity. Now here is where I want you to think carefully. What if you had a coin in your hand that looked just like this dime? How would you even know it was worth $17 million? The truth is, the majority of people pass over treasures every single day, simply because they do not know what to look for. This is why staying subscribed to World Rare Coin is your best move. Because every week, I break down coins that could change your life. Coins that sit in circulation. Unnoticed coins that turn average collectors into millionaires, and I show you step by step how to identify them. So before we move forward, take a second to tap that subscribe button and join a community of collectors who refuse to let treasures slip by. Now back to our dime. The 1966 Roosevelt dime is a perfect example of why condition matters, why grading matters, and why knowledge matters in coin collecting. Because you can have 1,000,000 dimes, but only one with the right combination of grade, strike, and rarity can change your life forever. And here is another suspenseful thought. This dime may be sitting in an old jar of change, in a drawer, in a collection passed down through generations, or even in circulation, though rare and overlooked. So the hunt is very real. Collectors, know that even within coins that seem common, the true gems are hiding in plain sight. And this is why numismatics is so addictive. Every coin tells a story. Every coin holds a mystery. And every coin might just hold a fortune. Let us break down the condition factors more deeply. A high-grade coin should have no wear, strong details, clear lettering, and brilliant luster. The torch on the back should show clear separated bands, which collectors call full bands. This detail alone can make the difference of thousands or even millions of dollars. And when combined with rarity, it explains why some dimes are not worth 10 cents, but instead millions. Now imagine being at an auction, the crowd buzzing, collectors on edge, and suddenly a 1966 Roosevelt dime, in near-perfect grade, hits the stage. Bidding starts in the thousands, leaps into the hundreds of thousands, and finally erupts past the million mark, until hammering down at 17 million. That is not just a transaction, that is history being made. And if you are wondering how many such coins are out there, The truth is not many. Their rarity makes them almost mythical, and that is why the hunt continues across the United States. Collectors are checking coin rolls, estate sales, and inherited collections hoping to uncover one of these priceless dimes. And here is where I challenge you. Check your change, your piggy bank, your old drawers, because you never know what you might find. And if you ever stumble upon a dime that looks flawless, pristine and sharp in detail, remember the first step is grading. Send it to PCGS or NGC, get it slabbed, and only then explore selling it through major auctions, because that is the path to unlocking the real value. The story of the 1966 Roosevelt dime teaches us that knowledge is power in coin. Collecting the more you know, the more prepared you are to recognize treasures, and the more likely you are to turn ordinary finds into extraordinary wealth. So as we wrap this up, let me leave you with one final suspenseful note. The next time you see a dime, do not just see a coin. See a mystery, see a possibility, and maybe, just maybe, see a $17 million fortune. This is why you need to stay subscribed to World Rare Coin, because this channel is your ultimate guide to uncovering the stories, secrets, and staggering values of coins that most people overlook. Share this video with friends, family, and anyone who has ever jingled a pocket of change, because who knows, the next millionaire might just be watching this very video.